Hey, what's up guys, John here. I believe Zillow, Redfin, and a variety of other online real estate data companies are artificially manipulating home values to extract tens of billions of dollars from everyday American families to push forward into government services. And what is happening right now is really shocking. A lot of people don't know this. Do you know VA home loans? They're not reporting on this foreclosure data. People that have a VA home loan not paying their mortgage, it's going basically the story's going untold. FHA loans, the same exact thing. They're not reporting on this data. They're actually allowing FHA to, if you're a borrower with an FHA loan, to reduce your monthly payment upwards of 25% so that foreclosure data is not registered. Why is this all happening? What's really going on? You look at the unemployment numbers, look at inflation data. There's a lot of question marks around all this information. Now I'm going to share with you why I believe this is all happening and what I think is really going on in the U.S. economy. If you're a real estate investor, a renter, a homeowner, pay very, very close attention to this, because what most Americans do is they go on Zillow, they look at their Zestimate, and they get really, satisfied in many cases of what they say Zillow says their home is worth. But imagine if Zillow said what it was really worth. The amount of panic that would set in, the reduction across the tax base nationally. Everyone will be challenging their tax base. All of this would completely change the perspective of the U.S. economy and where we really are. I'm going to break it down. I'll give you the facts. And at the end, you tell me, what do you think? Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. YouTube will share this content to educate the people about what's going on in America's economy and housing market. And if you'd like to fix your credit, we would love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free call for Monday. Take a look at this. So, VA home loans. The VA is asking lenders to pause foreclosures until May 2024, right? Now, VA home loans, they have 3.7 million veterans that have an active home loan, active VA home loan, 3.7 million. Look at FHA. FHA is helping to reduce the monthly payment with a payment supplement. And this will temporarily reduce a borrower's monthly mortgage payment up to 25% without modifying the mortgage current interest rate. Now, why would they be offering all of these products and opportunities to homeowners if the economy was so great? Why would they be doing this? Impacting millions and millions and millions of properties. Presently, FHA has insured more than 40 million homes since 1934, and as of September 2022, more than 1.6 million FHA borrowers who had their ability that was affected by the pandemic to avoid foreclosure. So 1.6 million people would have likely walked, a good chunk of these 1.6 million would have walked through foreclosure, right? Imagine what that would have done to the perspective of a strong economy, a recovering economy. Now, look at this. This property, for example, Downey, California, near Los Angeles, 5 years ago, you could buy a home in Downey for $400,000, $500,000, you get a nice house there. Right now, $1,850,000. Look at this house, for example, $825,000, and Zillow is saying this property is worth $880,000. So what most Americans do is they go on Zillow, they see, oh, they say it's worth $880,000. Oh wow, it's listed for $825,000. This must be a really good deal, and they'll make an offer based on this. But what they don't realize is that when you go down and you look at the actual Zestimate, what they're saying is in 2019, they're saying this property is worth $469,000. In 2021, they're saying it's $530,000, right? So during this entire period, they're essentially saying the home value has doubled. The value has doubled inside of the last 5 years, the last 4 years, right? Make that make sense. How is that actually possible? Now, when you look at Zillow, and this is almost common, right, where home values have doubled in the last 3-4 years. But let's look at this. So Zillow, if you look at a lot of their major shareholders, you have Vanguard, BlackRock, Morgan Stanley, State Street, a lot of the big names that everybody knows. The same thing is true with Redfin, right? Redfin, BlackRock, Vanguard, a lot of these really, really big companies are majority shareholders. They own blocks and blocks and blocks of the stock. And many of these companies, they have a lot of control over almost everything, right? They have a strong grip on most companies, most big companies. They have a large block of stock in, and they are playing a really big role in our everyday lives, whether we know it or not. Now, when you look at the tax base, they say right here on Business Insider that the average national tax base is about 1.10% of a property's value, is what they're saying. And they're saying the median home price in the U.S. is $244,000, right? That's definitely not true, right? $244,000. Now they say that how much is property tax on a $300,000 home in California? And good luck finding a home in California for $300,000, but they said it was $2,310 based on the tax base of 0.77%. And so what happens is when values fall, a lot of people contest their tax base. They'll ask for a revision, and they'll hire a company, and they'll try to get their tax base reduced based on what's happening in the neighborhood, based on the economy, based on their home value. Now, when you see that 70% of Americans have, the typical American has 70% of their net worth tied up in their primary residence. So you start to look at this. People, they see this home that they think is worth $500,000, $600,000, $800,000, but the true market value is pretty far from that. And I mean, look at this. So for example, they say here in 2021 that the average home was in Q4 trading at about $423,000. Now they're saying it's almost the same, $417,000. So right now, back then, with a 3% mortgage rate and a 6% down payment, which is the average down payment for a first-time buyer, their mortgage payment would be $2,450. Now this is based on a 1.1% annual tax rate, which is the national average, a $2,000 home insurance plan, which is pretty inexpensive, considering many states, especially California, Florida, a lot of these other locations, you're looking at a multiple of this. Now, when you look at today's mortgage rates at 7.5%, if you have great credit, you're going to be able to get that interest rate, most likely. You're looking at somewhere around $3,538, all the same fundamentals down here, 2,000, 1.1% tax base. So essentially it's $1,100 more, right? It's $1,100 more, yet you're seeing foreclosures picking up, right? Lenders started the foreclosure process on 22,575 U.S. properties in February 2024, up 4% from last month and 11% from a year ago. So you have foreclosures going up, you have VA home loan foreclosures not getting reported. FHA, what's happening there is very, very, very questionable, to say the least. They're helping people reduce their payments so that data doesn't have to get recorded. Then you're seeing, you're seeing the benefits of this for them. So taxes that are going up, there's more revenue obviously being collected. They say it's to fund schools. Now, when you look at this, schools across the U.S. are announcing teacher layoffs. So they're looking to reduce their expenses on a high tax base, right? This came out April 24th, 2 days ago. Then it also says here that it's for water and sewer departments. Then look at Los Angeles, for example. LADWP, the new head is going to make $750,000 this year. $750,000. So they're really pulling all this money out, and they're utilizing it in the way in which they see best fit. Now, it's pretty shocking, right? It's pretty shocking how this entire situation is growing, because home sales are the lowest level in 30 years. You have the lowest level in 30 years. You're seeing mortgage applications, the lowest level since 1996. So all of this data, all of this information is not getting reported, or at least Zillow is opting out of allowing this to have any role in this estimate of real property. How does this make any sense? How does this make any sense? I personally believe that it goes a lot deeper than just Zillow. I believe everything. For example, unemployment data. The unemployment rate they say is 3.8%. Right? This would be one of the best job markets in 50 years at a 3.8% unemployment rate. But then you have Goldman Sachs coming out saying, could 300,000 job openings be fake? This came out last year, right? Could these job openings really be fake? Then you have the bond king, billionaire bond king, says that it's hard to believe the 3.7% federal unemployment data. And he goes on and he says that he looked and it was 88%. I'm going to show you this. 88% of U.S. states reporting rising unemployment numbers, right? So unemployment numbers are rising in 88% of U.S. states, yet unemployment data is showing 3.7, 3.8%. How does that make any logical sense, right? Dow Jones, all-time highs. Then you have inflation saying that the key inflation measure rose 2.8% in March from a year ago. But then you go to a grocery store and grocery prices have jumped 25% over the past 4 years, right? So they say, inflation, it's not horrible, it's not bad, but yet grocery prices are up 25%. Home insurance up, many would even say more than 25% depending on the state in which you live. Auto insurance is up. Everything is up, but not by 3 or 4 or 5%. Everything is up by a multiple of that number. Then it's fascinating because in 2019, the average median, this is the median income, right? The median income in America was $78,250. Now, the median income is $77,345. So the difference between 2019 and now is down $1,000, right? So making $1,000 less. But what's very fascinating is that inflation right now is costing the average American family $11,000 per year, so about $1,000 per month. So if you were to reduce that added newfound cost, the real income would probably be somewhere around $65,000. So if it's $65,000, how have home values doubled? How has everything doubled? And how is any of this real, right? Because back in 2019, the average home price in America was $258,000. So you're saying, people are making less money today, but home values have doubled, according to Zillow, according to Redfin, according to all of these websites. It makes me wonder, are we in a massive, massive game of musical chairs, economic musical chairs, where at any moment they're going to pull one seat and they're going to flip the music and it's going to leave everyone without somewhere to sit, right? I think we're going to walk into a scenario, at least according to the data, where they're not going to be able to keep this facade up much longer. I wonder if it's going to be the next 3 months, 6 months. I wonder, because there's no way that this is sustainable. I mean, I wish this wasn't the truth. I wish this wasn't the case. But how can home values double? How can home values double and Zillow and all these websites be completely accurate, yet real wages have not just kept up, they've fallen. They've fallen. When you factor in inflation, 15 to 18%, home values double, insurance doubles, car insurance, everything has skyrocketed. Make it make sense. What do you think about this entire situation? Do you think that this is all a big game to extract as much tax revenue from 100 plus million American families that they can then use to fund government services and build out huge social programs to combat inequality and inequity? Curious. Drop below. Let's have a conversation about this. And if you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself what I believe is going to be a massive, massive rug pull in the U.S. economy, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any issue at all in your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free call for tomorrow. Catch you next video.